Hello everyone. Warm welcome to all of you and good afternoon. We are starting off our session, guys. Today we have our speaker come judge for this session, C. Vishnu Sahai sir. I would like to give brief intro about sir. Sir has completed BSc LLB in 1995 and is currently practicing in lower court and high court. Sir, we are honored to have you here. Thank you for accepting our request to be the speaker and judge for this session. Sir, are you there, sir?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. So we'll be starting off with the introduction of the bill. I'm sure all of you must have known what is the bill. Today, the category of our bill is the passed bill. Our bill is Elections Laws Amendment Bill 2021. So I'll be giving a brief introduction about the bill now. So the Election Laws Amendment Bill 2021 was introduced in Lok Sabha on December 20, 2021. The bill amends the Representation of People Act 1950 and the Representation of People Act 1951. The 1950 Act provides for allocation of seats and delimitation of constituencies for election, and the 1951 Act provides for the conduct of elections and offences and disputes related to elections. The main provision of the Act involves linking of voter identity cards with Aadhaar cards with an aim to verify identity of voters. At the same time, weeding out bogus voters, non-citizens have been doubtfully termed as voters. So we'll be starting off by calling the names of parliamentarians in the order. I hope all of you are ready. All the best to everyone. Excuse me, sir.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, will you call out the names of parliamentarians or shall I continue?
Yeah, I'll call out, madam.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. One MP is Bandela Gautam Raj.
Yes, sir. Sir, can we wait for 1 more minute, sir? We need a person to keep the count on buzzer. So.
Okay.
I'm here to keep the count on buzzer.
Yeah, okay, sir. We can start off now.
Okay. I am calling out the names.
Yes, sir.
The first parliamentarian is Bandela Gautam Raj. The next is...
Yes, sir. Honorable Speaker and the people who are part of this session. Good afternoon to each. I am here with the discussion of Election Law Amendment 2021. So in this law, mainly I am in favor with this law. I am supporting it. It states that the linking of voter ID with the Aadhaar card, which is for the purpose of one nation, one election and one voter list. And it also states that it is not a mandatory work or a program to do. If the citizens are interested, they can enroll, they can link with the voter ID with Aadhaar card. If not, there are other ways of registering into the voter registration list. And it also states that it gives 4 chances in a year for voter registration, and it provides gender neutral provisions for service sectors too. And due to this, it gives a free and fair elections in a country like India, having huge population. For this, one nation, one voter list can help and conduct free and fair elections in our country. And it states that it is not a mandatory action, and the main purpose is to eliminate the duplicate voting or the bogus voting. And the foreigners who are enrolled in this list as voters, they can also be eliminated so that voting can be done properly. And there may be critics that they may state why even there may be chance of political parties having interference and they can be mischievous things done. Regarding this, even the privacy with linking with Aadhaar, it may affect the privacy. it made very clear that it's not going to affect, and it is the citizens' interest whether to link it with other voter ID or not. Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, can I call the names, sir, from now?
Yeah, you please.
Yes, sir. So now next we have MP Banu Takanksha.
Yes, please. Yes.
Good afternoon, one and all. I would like to support the Amendment Bill 2020, the Election Laws 2021. The election laws which proposes the linking of the electoral roll data with Aadhaar, qualifying date for enrollment in electoral roll, requisitioning of premises for electoral, and also gender neutral provisions. It also meant to strike out bogus voters, foreigners who are wrongly included as the voters, and also those who are enrolled in more than 2 constitutions. This suggests that the government will define what constitutes a sufficient cause for a person to not submit his or her Aadhaar. Such individuals will be allowed to furnish alternate documents as will be prescribed by the government. Other provision under the 1950 Act, the qualifying date for enrollment in the electoral roll is January 1st of the year in which such roll is being prepared or revised. This implies that a person who turns 18 after January 1st can enroll in the electoral roll only when the electoral roll is prepared or revised in the next year. The bill amends this to provide 4 qualifying dates in the calendar year, which will be January 1st, April 1st, July 1st, and October 1st. By these, they need not to wait for a year to register as a voter. Apart from these, the 1950 Act permits certain persons who are ordinarily resident in a constitution to register in electoral rolls. Such persons include those holding a service qualification such as members of armed forces or central government employees posted outside India. The wives of such persons are also deemed to be ordinarily residing in the same constituency if they reside with them. The 1951 Act enables the wife of the person holding a service qualification to vote either in person or by postal ballot. The bill replaces the term wife with spouse in the Act. Thank you.
Yes, Akanksha. Next we have third MP Banu Sardar.
Is he available?
I think he isn't there, sir. So we'll go with the next MP.
Yeah.
Next we have Ashrit Reddy.
Yeah. Please go on.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
This is Ashut Reddy from EC Department first year. First, I would like to talk about why the bill was introduced. It was introduced to create a legal framework to link electoral data with other ecosystem. This is a good initiative taken by the government to strike out bogus voters and foreigners who are wrongfully included as voters. But on August 11, 2015, Supreme Court passed an order prohibiting Aadhaar from being used for any purpose other than state-facilitated distribution of food grains and for some financial issues. So this bill is beyond the legislative competence of Parliament to take up the bill. In these kind of situations, a parliamentary standing committee is formed to review the entire bill and corresponding laws, but no committee was formed and the bill was rushed to voting. Another important thing is that our law minister, Kiren Rijiju, said that linkage would not be mandatory but only voluntary. However, the bill contradicts the statement of law minister. It says no new application for inclusion of name in the electoral roll shall be denied and no entries in the electoral roll for inability of an individual to furnish an intimate Aadhaar number. However, this provision is followed with the phrase due to sufficient cause as described. These sufficient causes are not described yet. This phrase gives the power to union government to stipulate the sufficient cause for which a person will be exempted from producing their Aadhaar. These individuals could be allowed to provide an alternate document. The alternate documents may not be much reliable, and there would still be a chance of fraud. So I'm against this amendment. The union government should make it as a rule to link Aadhaar with voter ID, and no alternate documents should be eligible for this linkage. And other amendments such as replacing the word wife with spouse will encourage gender equality, and adding 3 more dates other than January 1 is a welcome change, since people who turned 18 after January 1 had to wait a whole year to get their voter ID. Now we have to wait only for 3 months. So this is my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashit Reddy. Next, we have our next MP is Chaganti Shivatmika Reddy.
Firstly, good afternoon, Speaker Sir, my fellow parliamentarians, and the organizer. The bill right now I'm talking about is the Election Law Amendment Bill 2021. Yes, by changing the nomenclature wives to spouses, the statute creates a gender-neutral provisions. Yes, by adding 4 qualifying dates in a calendar year, the Act expands the jurisdiction or the competence of voting. But however, according to me, there are certain shortcomings in the Act that have the potential to overweigh the advantages of the above mentioned, earlier mentioned advantages. Firstly, linking an electoral roll with Aadhaar card with an intention to avoid multiple voting by a single voter will not work out, because the Indian Constitution grants the right to vote exclusively to the only citizens only. Whereas the Aadhaar is a proof of residence, but not a proof of citizenship. So this clearly contradicts both the intention and functioning of Aadhaar. So, which this clearly paves a way for non-citizens it clearly paves an indirect right to non-citizens to vote. So, since the Constitution gives a power to the Parliament to repeal a bill through Article 245 of the government must reconsider either repealing the Act or amending the Act. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Shivatmika. Next, we have Chella Madhukiran Reddy.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, you're audible.
Thank you, Speaker Sir. ఈ బిల్ తీసుకురావడం అనేది ఫస్ట్ ఒక మంచి నిర్ణయం అని చెప్పాలి. ఎందుకంటే ముఖ్యంగా ఫేక్ ఐడీస్ నిర్మూలించడం అనేది ఈ బిల్ ముఖ్య ఉద్దేశం. ఫస్ట్ పాయింట్ అది. అలాగే అక్రమంగా దేశంలోకి చొరబడి ఫేక్ ఐడీస్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకొని దేశంలో కొన్ని కలహాలు సృష్టించడానికి ఇది వాళ్ళకి ఒక పెద్ద అడ్డుకట్ట అని చెప్పాలి. అలాగే ఇంతకుముందు 18 years వచ్చిన వాళ్ళకి 18 years దాటిన వాళ్ళకి ఓటర్ ఐడి అప్లై చేసుకోవాలంటే జనవరి ఫస్ట్ డేట్ లోనే ఇయర్లీ జనవరి 1st లోనే అవైలబుల్ ఉండేది. కానీ ఈ బిల్ అమెండ్మెంట్ ఆర్పి యాక్ట్ 1915 లోని 14 సెక్షన్ అమెండ్మెంట్ చేస్తుంది. దాని ప్రకారం మనము ఇయర్లీ 4 times మనం ఓటర్ ఐడి అప్లై చేసుకోవడానికి ఉంటుంది. ఇంకా థ్యాంక్ యూ. దట్స్ ఇట్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Thank you. Our next parliamentarian is Joshit.
I think I am audible and visible.
Yeah, Joshit, here.
The primary objectives of the bill are to linking the electoral roll data with Aadhaar, qualifying date for enrollment in electoral roll data, requestioning of premises for election purposes, gender neutral provisions. Generally, as per Act 1950, the electoral registration officer only have to verify the register in the electoral roll without any IDs. But by implementing this bill will be suppressed. There is no chance for double entry and triple entry. As per 1950 Act, a person can roll electoral roll data only when revised. By implementing the bill, with there only 4 qualifying dates: January 1, April 1, July 1, October 1. As per 1951 Representation People Act, government to requisition needed for being used for polling station for storing ballot boxes. This will expand the purposes of premises such as counting and storage of voting machines, polling related material. This will be replaced the term wife with a spouse with both the Representation of People Act 1950 and Representation of People Act 1951. In my opinion, the bill is positive step in the right direction. This will be help the people a lot. Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, thank you. Next, we have MP Chandrasekhar.
Chandrasekhar, are you available?
No, sir, he's suffering for COVID, so he might not come.
Oh,
Sir, he's in there, sir.
no.
Okay. Next, we'll go with next parliamentarian, Devarakonda Pallavi.
Call out the next person, Harichandana.
Yeah. So next MP is Dinakar Sagar.
Yes, Mr. Dinakar.
G Vijayta 11, MP number 11. Is she there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
So good afternoon, everyone. So
Good
the election law amendment bill includes linking electoral roll data with Aadhaar. Aadhaar linking with electoral roll will solve one of the major problems in electoral base management, which is multiple enrollment of the same person at different places. The citizen might shift places and forget to delete previous enrollment. The possibility of and then by linking with the Aadhaar card, the possibility of the electoral name appearing in the same electoral roll can be removed. And it also states that one must not be denied the right to vote if he could not submit the Aadhaar card. They can also be allowed to vote if they show their voter ID. And it also includes qualifying date for enrollment in electoral roll. Usually, citizens who attain the age of 18 get the right to vote, but initially the qualifying date was 1st Jan. So the citizens who turn 18 after Jan cannot cast their vote during that year of elections. So now, according to the amendment, 4 qualifying dates have been provided, that is Jan 1st, April 1st, July 1st, and October 1st. This is really useful for the people. And then we have gender neutral provision, which says that service persons, that is the members of the armed force and central government employees posted outside India, who are ordinarily the residents of the constituency, wives of such persons can cast their vote in person or by postal ballot. Now the word wife has been replaced with spouse, which provides gender neutrality and gives equal recognition to both the genders. Thank you. I'm in support of this bill.
Okay.
Thank you, Vijayta. Next, we have G Subbarao Kulashekar. Okay. MP number 13, Govindu Prabhas Nehal. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
Is it am I appearing? Yeah. Greetings to the Honorable Speaker and my fellow parliamentarians. I'm Prabhas from Warangal. I'm completely supporting the Election Law Amendment Bill 2021 because to stop the bogus voting and fraudulent votes in elections. Because salient features are there in this bill. Those are deduplication deduplication of electoral roll. It provides the amendment of Section 23 of the Representation of the People's Act 1950, enabling the linking of the electoral roll data with the Aadhaar ecosystem. This aims to curb the menace of multiple enrollment of the same person in different places. This will help to stopping bogus voting and fraudulent votes. This linking is a consonance with 105th report of the Department Related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Personnel, Public Grievances and Law and Justice. And one more salient feature is that multiple qualifying days. The citizen gets voting rights when they turn 18. However, many are left out of the electoral rolls even after turning 18. This is because in this system, 1st January is the qualifying date. According to the bill, 4 qualifying dates will be declared for updating the voting rolls to include those who have turned 18. The first day of the month, January, April, July, and October, bringing gender neutrality. The language for registration of wives of service voters will now be replaced by spouse. This will make the laws more gender neutral. Service voters are those serving in the armed forces, armed police forces of state serving outside it, and government employees posted outside India. In associated concerns, Aadhaar is itself not mandatory. In 2015, the move to link voter ID to Aadhaar was put on the back burner after the Supreme Court judgment, when it held that the Aadhaar card scheme is purely voluntary. Besides this, Aadhaar was only meant to be proof of residence. It is not the proof of citizenship. Fears of disenfranchisement. The bill allows electoral registration officers to ask for Aadhaar number of the applicants wanting to register to voters to establish the identity of the applicant. In the absence of Aadhaar, the government would be able to use voter identity details for disenfranchising.
MP number 13, you can stop. We have crossed the time limit. Next, we have the 14th parliamentarian, H. Giri Santosh.
Good afternoon to the Honorable Speaker and my fellow parliamentarians. Now I am going to speak about few aspects in this bill which makes me to support this bill. The first aspect is the linkage of the electoral roll data to the Aadhaar ecosystem. The idea is to verify the identity of the voters by linking the Aadhaar database. This will help in weed out the bogus voters and those who figure the electoral rolls in more than one constituency. Once Aadhaar linkage is achieved, the electoral rolls data system will instantly alert the existence of previous registrations whenever a person applies for a new registration. This will help in cleaning the electoral roll data to a greater extent. And also this Aadhaar link is voluntary in nature. So no person can be denied inclusion in the electoral roll because of the inability of the individual to furnish or intimate Aadhaar number. And the second aspect in this bill is asking to increasing the dates for revision of electoral rolls from 1 per year to 4. This gives more number of people the chance to vote and participate in the elections. And the third aspect is this bill is also asking to substitute the word wives by the word spouse in the Section 20 of the Representative of the People Act 1950. This is because nowadays women also started to work in central government and posted outside of India. So the substitution of word wives by the word spouse will make this section gender neutral. As we all know that India is a democratic country and elections happen to be the life, the breath, the spirit and the soul of a democracy. So conducting free and fair elections is the foundation of a democratic country. So by implementing this bill, we can eliminate multiple enrollment of same person at different places and conducting elections fairly. So I'm supporting this bill. So I want to conclude this speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Santosh. Our next MP is Harshita.
1 minute, madam.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Good morning, Speaker, sir. I'm Harshita here in support of Election Law Amendment Bill. We have seen in many elections in India bogus voting taking place, and the bill is important for electoral reform, which will move to eliminate bogus votes. And the amendment of Section 23 of Representation of People's Act 1950, enabling the linkage to electoral roll data with other ecosystem, aims to curb and the menace of multiple enrollment of the same person in the different places, and this will help in stopping bogus voting and fraudulent votes, and the citizens getting voting rights when they turn 18. However, many are left out of the electoral rolls even after turning 18. This is because in the system 1st January is the qualifying date, and the amendment to the Section 14 of Representative Act 1950 enables the left out voters every year to enroll in 4 qualifying dates, and amending to the replacement of the word wife with spouse strengthens the spirit of gender neutrality. And bogus votes and fraudulent voters or voting end up in declining the voting spirit of the citizens in country. And until free fair elections are conducted and bogus voting is curbed, many citizens won't tend to show interest in casting their vote, and not interested in politics remains top reason for not voting in the elections, and fraudulent votings are one of the main cause for it. Hence, I conclude by saying that this amendment is important not only for electoral reforms, but also protecting the democratic spirit of the nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Harshita. Our next MP is Hiba Fatima Rashid.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So good afternoon to one and all. My name is Hiba, and I would like to speak a few points in opposition to this bill. This bill has proposed things such as replacing the word wife with spouse related to the proxy voting for service voters, indicating that the service personnel can be both male and female. Along with this, they have talked about increasing the number of cutoff dates to 4 dates, namely the 1st of January, April, July, and October, so as more voters can get timely registered. While these 2 points may sound good, the main concern over the passing of these bills is that it seeks to link electoral roll data and voter ID cards with the Aadhaar ecosystem. Doing this, they aim to curb multiple enrollment of the same person and to stop fraudulent votes from non-citizens. But linking the electoral roll with Aadhaar is not mandatory, as Aadhaar is a proof of residency and not citizenship, and any foreign national who has resided in India for more than 12 months can apply for Aadhaar. Moreover, the proposed linkage between Aadhaar and the election database will make data available to the Election Commission of India as well as the Unique Identification Authority of India. Under the Article 324 of the Indian Constitution, ECI is in control for conducting the elections, while UIDI is responsible for Aadhaar. So it creates a conflict of interest in the exercise of linking Aadhaar with voter cards. It affects the independent function of ECI for free and fair elections, which is essential for electoral democracy. Last but not the least, nothing has been provided regarding data protection, which leads to privacy concerns and goes against the Puttaswamy judgment. So there's a need for more clarification regarding the data, as it could lead to infringement of the privacy of the citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. And the next parliamentarian is Itisha Kumari, MP number 17.
If you don't like things the way they are, then vote so you can raise the bar. I am Itisha in favor of the bill. The upper house of Indian Parliament passed a very significant electoral bill, a bill to link Aadhaar with voter ID. Will this be mandatory to all Indian citizens? The answer is no. It is going to be optional, that is voluntary. Why was this bill even necessary? Number one, to solve problems of fake votes and duplications. Number two, to clean electoral roll by removing names that are there multiple times. Basically, to avoid duplications. It seeks to make significant changes in election laws. What kind of changes? Like when you register to vote. Once you turn 18 in India, you get registered as a voter. Until now, you could do that only once a year before 1st of Jan each year. That won't happen anymore. Under the new law, vote registration will be more flexible. Voter list will be revised 4 times a year. Now, the second change is election will be made gender neutral. Until now, wives of service voters could enroll herself as service voter. The new law is going to change that. The bill proposes to replace the word wife with spouse. That makes this provision gender neutral. Now, these important changes will make elections smooth and more transparent, which is the need of a democratic country. Now, there's a lot of people registered at multiple places. There's a lot of voters who keep changing cities and then fail to register themselves again. In a country where so many young people are migrating internally for job and education, we end up losing a lots of votes. And this is bigger disenfranchisement than that of cons of bills. And the new bill aims to fix this. Thank you.
Thank you, Itisha. Our next parliamentarian is K. Annie Rajan.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker, and all my fellow parliamentarians. When we think of India as the biggest democracy of this world. So don't you think such a big democracy needs to have a fair and legitimate election? That is the reason I support this bill, because it provides for a provision where we can link the Aadhaar to the electoral roll, which helps us combat the fake voters who are a threat to our democracy. Coming to the privacy concern, Aadhaar is only to scrutinize identity, and the information will only be stored in the Election Commission database and will not be released in the public domain. Secondly, a citizen will no longer have to wait for an year to be able to vote. An year which could likely impact the next 5 years of his or her life. In this situation, we can see that a citizen has the eligibility to vote, but doesn't have the opportunity. So this provision is very much valid and required. Thirdly, requisitioning premises is definitely required, keeping in mind the ardent exercise of election. And the fourth provision, which provides for a gender neutral status to the spouse of army personnel and central government employees who are deployed abroad, is very much needed and is long due, keeping in mind the progressive times that we are in. That is the reason why I support this bill, because it gives due respect and concern to our democracy and its people. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next MP is Karthik B.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. 1,000 miles of journey starts with a single step. So I would also like to start my topic with a beautiful greeting. Good afternoon. The Election Laws Amendment Bill 2021 is a key amendment which relates to the introduction of a provision to link the electoral roll with the other ecosystem. According to the statement of objects and reasons of the bill, it provides for the amendment of Section 23 of the Representation of Peoples Act 1950 to curb the means of multiple enrollment of the same person in different places. It also seeks to amend Clause B of Section 40 of the Representation of Peoples Act 1950 specifying the qualifying dates as first days of January, April, July, and October as the qualifying dates in relation to the preparation or revision of electoral rules. And this helps in stopping bogus voting as well as fraudulent votes. This linking is in consonance with the 105th report of the Department of Parliamentary Standing Committee on Personal, Public Grievances and Law and Justice. And the purpose linkage between the Aadhaar and the election database is voluntary, and no application of the inclusion of name in the electoral roll shall be denied, and no entry in the electoral roll shall be deleted for the inability of a person to furnish or intimate his Aadhaar number. And the language for the registration of an armaments's wife is entitled to get enrolled as spouse. This makes the law gender neutral. Thank you.
Thank you, Karthik. Our next parliamentarian is Kausini Vishwanandam, MP number 20. I think she is not there here. So we'll go with the next parliamentarian, MP number 21, K. Srujan. Okay. Next MP is K. Ahalya. Is she here? Okay, we'll go with MP number 23 then. Mahankali Kartikeya.
Yes, I am here.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Speaker, sir, and good afternoon to all the members present in the House. I firstly support the bill, the Election Laws Amendment Bill 2021. This bill amends the Representation of People's Act 1950, which was aimed at allocation of seats and the qualification of voters and also preparation of electoral rolls. And it also amends with the help of Representation of People's Act 1951, which was aimed at conduct of elections and reducing the offensive disputes taking place while conducting the elections. It is mainly focused to implement certain electoral reforms. Firstly, it empowers the electoral officers to seek Aadhaar card details of any person if she or he wanted to cast her vote. It also prevents reoccurrence of a member in the electoral roll of same consistency or of different consistency. So by this duplication can be eradicated. And also it gives a silver lining of voluntary. This means the process of linking of Aadhaar with the voter card, that's the main agenda of this bill, will be voluntary for the citizens of India. So they can be of their choice. And the other point that I want to share is it also provides four choices or chances to the people to register themselves at the electoral officers. And it also maintains gender neutrality by providing service sectors a very good chance for the defense personals. So I will conclude that by passing this bill, the elections will be conducted successfully. Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have MP number 24, Meghna Dhanraj.
Yes, good afternoon. I am here in support of election laws. And so I would like to support election laws relatively of election rolls, Election Commission of India, election of parliament and state legislature are based on electoral rolls for each polling booth. Like electoral rolls often contain errors in name and detail of voters and don't carry the voter's full name. So once electoral rolls are linked with Aadhaar, complete accuracy in electoral rolls would be ensured and duplication would be easy. Even in Supreme Court Aadhaar judgment para 375 and 376 to deduplication of PAN number after Aadhaar linking. I think so. Similar benefits would also happen if we connect Aadhaar to our voter ID. And secondly, it will also help to reduce duplicacy since there are many voters who tend to have more than one voter ID cards and tend to vote more than once. So this might not happen if Aadhaar is linked. And this act even eligible to service voter like Indian Army, Navy, Air Force. Now, in amendment of Section 20 of Representation Act 1950 and Section 60 of Representation Act 1951, it makes gender neutral and word wife has now become spouse. So now even the women who are serving armed forces on basis now their husband can also vote for them, and even some rights have been extended to their children on service voters. So even children can vote on basis. So we know that Aadhaar is not proof of citizenship, but available to all the resident. Passports are proof of citizenship, and in the last few years, passport has issued with Aadhaar links and making process much simpler. So with concomitant address with address verification,
Conclude
similar.
మీ అందుకే బెల్ వాయించగాను నిమిషంలో కంక్లూడ్ చేసి నిమిషం కూడా పట్టలే.
Sure, sir.
Thank you, Meghna. The next parliamentarian is Tina, M. Tina.
Good afternoon to Honorable Speaker. The beliefs of the representatives of the people at 1950 and
Excuse me, Tina. Your voice is not clear.
Okay. Now it's okay.
It is bit clear now.
Okay. Qualifying the data for the enrollment in the electoral roll and an voter ID card is a proof of identity issued to the every citizen of India who is eligible to vote. The voter ID cards also known as voter ID cards voter ID can be applied 4 times. The Indian voter ID card is the identified document issued by the Election Commission of India to adult documents of India who reached the age of 18, which primarily events as an identified proof for Indian citizens while casting their votes.
Thank you. Our next MP is Muhammad Nazim Ahmed. MP number 26.
Good afternoon, President. Over this opinion. First thing is that thank you for this opportunity to give my opinion on this bill. And the second thing, I'm in favor of this bill. The Election Law Amendment Bill 2021 incorporates various electoral reforms which have been discussed for a long time. Registration in electoral roll is done based on an application by a person who is eligible to be registered as a voter. This bill has a provision whereby the new applicant may voluntarily provide Aadhaar number along with the application for the purpose of identity. No application will be rejected on the grounds that Aadhaar number has not been provided. Aadhaar linking with electoral roll will solve one of the major problems in electron database management, which is multiple enrollment of the same person at different places the official cited. This may be due to the frequent shifting or of residence by electors and getting enrolled in the new place without deleting the previous enrollment. Thus, the possibility of electors whose name appear in more than one electoral roll or at times more than one in the same electoral roll can be removed. Once Aadhaar linkage is achieved, the electoral roll data system. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Our next parliamentarian is Naga Venkata Ramadevi, MP number 27.
Good afternoon to the respective Honorable Sir and my fellow parliamentarians. Election Law Bill 2021 passed by Lok Sabha by voice vote. This bill is mainly brought to link voter ID with Aadhaar card. So by this amendment, the bill seeks to link electoral roll data and a voter ID cards with the Aadhaar ecosystem. It has been brought keeping in mind that one nation, one election and a one voter list. Note that till now, the State Election Commission issues its own separate voter list. This amendment enables all the voters to vote anywhere in this area. So this act provides for the allocation of seats in the Lok Sabha. So due to this law, we are able to stop duplications of votes. That means to avoid a multiple enrollment of the same person in different places. So election makes us a fundamental contributions to the democratic governance. So democracy is about voting and it's about majority vote. And it's time that we begin exercising the democratic process. So voting is our right. So stop fraudulent votes. So by this, we can bring an error-free electoral roll, which is a fair election. So we have to choose the leaders by our votes, not the liars. So election makes our voters to select the leaders. So by this, we can filter the fraud people and elect a leader which is making a democratic government. Thank you.
Thank you. And our next MP is Mkt MP number 28.
Very good afternoon to everyone. Myself Kirti, and coming to the point, I'm in favor of the bill. This bill is mainly brought to link voter ID with the Aadhaar card. I hope this won't be any complication with that, because if the name is already in the electoral roll, then the Aadhaar number will be used for the authentication of the entries in the roll. By this way, we can avoid multiple enrollment of the same person in different places. It helps to avoid bogus voting and fraudulent votes. This bill is amended to provide for qualifying dates in a calendar year for enrollment in the electoral roll, so that any person who turns 18 that is eligible to vote can enroll in at any time without any delay. It has been brought keeping in mind one nation, one election, and one voter list. This amendment enables all voters to vote anywhere, so that any person who are far away are also capable to vote. This bill brings gender neutrality too. I hope in this way, by implementing certain electoral reforms, can lead to free and fair elections. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next MP is Mkt Mp MP number 29.
A very good afternoon to everyone. I'm in favor of passing of this bill because it is an improvement to our electoral system. Linking of electoral data with Aadhaar eliminates bogus voters, prevents the same person from exercising their vote in different constituencies, and removes foreigners who are wrongfully listed as voters. Designating 1st of April, July, and October as enrollment and revision of electoral data is the right move, as most educational institutes start around June and around April. This grants the students who are eligible on the basis of education to vote and choose their representatives of their free will without having to wait for an entire quarter or a half of a year to enroll. Replacing the word with the word spouse encourages gender neutrality. This bill grants the Election Commission the power of requisition of any premises that is needed for the purposes of elections. This may be an inconvenience to an individual, but would benefit all the voters of the constituency. So I am in favor of the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next MP is Pallavi P, MP number 30. Okay, I think she's not there here. I'll call out all the participants who missed in this first round. So if any of you are present here, please unmute. I'll call in the order. Please unmute yourself and let me know.
Please do, please do.
Yes, sir. So MP number 3, B Sardar. Okay, he's in there. Next, Chandrasekhar. MP number 9, D Pallavi. I think next MP number 10, Dinakar Sagar.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please continue.
A very good afternoon to one and all, respected speaker and everyone, co-judges, So the bill we are talking about here is, however, the bill criticizes the voluntary participation of the linking of Aadhaar card with it, which against the Puttaswamy judgment, it is right to privatize the declaration of fundamental rights by the Honorable Supreme Court. Also, it's another ruling Supreme Court ruled that limit of the issue of Aadhaar card is to be financial and welfare schemes, as the same happened in Telangana, which has been similar exercise done with the lead to the declaration of many votes, which also needed another spectacular that an expression of a political parties for the welfare parties. And the other concern is also noted as political scholar is also an Aadhaar card holder. It is also a citizenship proof, as anybody residing in any place for the more than 6 months can get an Aadhaar card. And there is a rule of, and there is a kind of voltizing the many of the votes from the proofs. Also, it is also affected the independence fundamental of the election commission for the conducting free and fair elections, which are essential for the many democracies. As the electoral role is election commission appears to a role before elections, which is constitutional body under the Article 324 of the Indian Commission, which body represents the Aadhaar card in unique independent authorized of the Indian workers. So at the creates the conflicts of intelligence between of the linkage of Aadhaar card with many card holders. The provision of bill must be very clearly set and provided view must be taken by the standing committees in the consideration of the bill, and due to the consultations, much of weirdness wears of the strengthening of parliamentary democracy in the country. So in the last point, I would have to oppose these things because the main reason was when an officer is working in an army or any other officials, his wife has an ability to vote, but not his one thing. That is yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And coming to another absentees who are there, G. Subbarao Kulashekar, MP number 12. I think even he's not there. MP number 20, Hausini. Yeah. 21, K. Srujan. And the last one, 22, K. Ahalya. Okay. These are the absentees, and it is the last call for them. Okay, guys. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, tell me, man.
Yes, sir. So we are done with the round 1. I've called out the names, but they are not there.
I see.
Yes, sir. Shall we move to round 2?
Yeah. Sure.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, for all the participants over here, I have a few points to tell you guys. So this is round number 2, rebuttal round. So if you want to question someone or oppose or contradict their points, in the chat box, mention your ID. I'll call out your ID. So sir will call your name. You can unmute yourself and pose your question by mentioning the opposite person's ID. I hope I'm clear. You can start sending your IDs in the chat box. I'll call out your name and inform to sir. You can unmute yourself and ask your question. We are starting round 2 now. Okay, guys. Sir, excuse me, sir. Sir, can you see the IDs in the chat box, or should I call them out?
You better call, man. I am seeing it right now. There is a 18 MP is the ID. 19 MP.
Yes, sir. So MP number 18 can unmute yourself and talk. I'll come in order. So MP number 18 can pose your question.
Yes. So I would like to contradict the point that MP 5 has mentioned, that it is true that Aadhaar is not a proof of citizenship. But I would also like to claim that the Mumbai High Court has said that voter ID is a proof of citizenship, because in the voter ID, to prove the age of a person, we need to provide birth certificate. And that birth certificate is a proof of citizenship. Thereby, and also Aadhaar is just to scrutinize identity and not citizenship. And to determine citizenship, voter ID can be used. And coming to MP 16, where she has mentioned about the Muthuswamy case. In Muthuswamy case, the Supreme Court has said that there has to be a permissible limit and a legitimate reason for the government to involve in the privacy of its citizens. And that legitimate reason is a section 17 of the RPA Act. And in this section, it is said that a person is not supposed to be registered in more than one constituency. So keeping in mind this section, to link Aadhaar to the electoral roll is very much required. Thank you.
Also, guys, I forgot to mention, you'll be given only 30 seconds to unmute yourself and speak. So keep in your mind the time constraint also. Now I think MP number 5 or 16 can respond.
Are they available?
Yes, sir. They are present in the room itself.
Right.
MP number 5 or MP number 16, are you guys there?
Yes. Just give me a second.
Yeah. Thank you.
Am I audible?
Yes, but there is some disturbance in the voice. A bit. I think you can continue. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, regarding the question that voter ID can be considered as a certificate of citizenship. Yes, the Mumbai High Court has actually allowed the voter ID to be a certificate of citizenship, but later on, the Patna High Court has struck down this decision and has clearly stated that voter ID, passport, nor Aadhaar card can be a certificate of citizenship. And also, I would like to add, may I speak?
Yeah, conclude what you were saying.
Yeah, I would like to add another statement. As per the new Aadhaar Act, an NRA or even a foreigner residing in India may apply for Aadhaar, which gives them, which may be misused by them, to vote. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And MP number 16.
Yes, am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, I had a power cut. So regarding that, I'm actually not, I'm also in favor of removing the bogus voters which vote without having citizenship in our country. But the problem with this is that the Aadhaar is not really guaranteeing the citizenship of a person. And anyone can apply for it even if they have stayed in India for more than 12 months. And that's what the bill is all about. It's about linking the Aadhaar. So that's why I had spoken in opposition with this. Thank you.
Yes, and our next request was from MP number 24, Karthik. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Am I audible? Okay, my question to Hello.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. My question to MP4 is actually when he was talking, he made a statement that even after attaining an age of 18, people are waiting for 1 year in order to get.
Excuse me, MP number 19, Karthik, are you there? Okay, guys, you can text the IDs of MPs you want to question or oppose. We'll be calling out your names. We'll be having this round for more 15 to 15 minutes approximately. So you have more time of 15 minutes. Guys, we are waiting for you to send your IDs in the chat box. If you have any questions, you can please text in the chat box. The debate has to continue, so you can text. Yes, MP number 1, Gautam Raj, you can unmute yourself and talk.
Yes, MP10 has stated that he is opposed the bill, but he didn't give a clear point why he is opposing. Even 16 stated she is opposing, but she gave 2 points regarding that. But MP10 has not gave a perfect points why he is opposing the bill. I want to know that.
Yeah, MP number 10. I have already mentioned that the citizenship proof as anybody residents in any place from more than 6 months can avail Aadhaar card, and it also acts as an identity proof. So when we relate Aadhaar card and when we link our Aadhaar card to voter ID, so many persons will be migrating from one place to another for before the 6 months. So it might be some validating over being for each and every time for the election time. And yeah, that was the first point. I was opposing the bill, and another reason was
you can conclude your point.
Yeah, then the other reason was when a person is working in any government official things like an army or in navy, his wife can, according to this bill, his wife can vote on behalf of him, but not his child or children or brother or father. That will be a drawback. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thank you. And next we have MP number 19. You can unmute yourself and speak.
I would like to pose a question to MP10 regarding this. Actually, he has stated that If at all a person is residing in India, he was given with Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card was meant to be proof of residence and not of citizenship. And moreover, the purpose linkage between the Aadhaar and the election database is voluntary. So there is no mandatory that you should link your Aadhaar along with the election database. So I would like to disagree with the statements of MP10.
MB19, which the point you are disagreeing with me? What is the point exactly?
See, you have told that Aadhaar card, when it is linked with the election database, it makes your data available to ECI and UDI, Unique Identification Authority of India. It's not the case. See, it's up to you whether to link your Aadhaar with the election database or not. It's not mandatory, it's just voluntary, that's it. And moreover, Aadhaar was only meant to be proof of residence. It is not of citizenship, which you were telling. So if you link your Aadhaar, it's your wish. And if you're uninterested in linking your Aadhaar with the election database, that's also up to you. So you can't oppose the bill according to.
Yeah. So are you done with your question?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Any further questions, ma'am?
I would like to inform everyone that these questions also carry marks. So it's not just based on the 2-minute speech that you have given before. So if you have any questions for anyone, or if you want to put forward some points of yours, then you can definitely put in the chat box your ID.
Ma'am, I want to add a point. So,
yes, you can.
For all those who were saying the right to privacy were violated, so the government, the the election commission is also a government body, and the government already has data of the people, and this makes no sense that right to privacy is getting harmed, because already the government has the data of the people.
Guys, if you don't have any more arguments, we can proceed to the voting session. This is the final call for arguments.
Yes, if you have any questions, any further questions, we still have time. You can text in the chat box. And after this, we'll go for voting.
Sir, I would like to just add a single point to what MP17 said. Can I?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. So just he said that Aadhaar card is not violating our privacy right. Exactly. Even our PAN card is connected to our Aadhaar card. So yeah, and it is now your voluntary decision to add your Aadhaar card to your voter ID card. So it's not at all violating any kind of right to privacy, I think so. And it is the basic information which you are providing to government, contains nothing that personal.
I would like one more. Can I?
Yes, you can, but before you start speaking, you can just put your ID in the chat box. Yeah, you can continue. MP number 27.
As MP number 5, I think so. She said that NRIs are also providing Aadhaar card, but to some extent, by linking Aadhaar card, we can filter some of the fraud people by voting unnecessary and ensuring the correct leader. I think so.
Okay, I can see MP number 17 in the chat box. You can unmute yourself and speak.
There's also a provision called e-Aadhaar card where you can hide your Aadhaar number and just share your identity. So in that you not only provide your identity, but you also don't have, but you also hide your Aadhaar card number. With that, you can protect your right to privacy also. Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have MP number 18. You can unmute yourself and speak.
Yes, so I would like to raise a point that in India, we do not have a citizenship ID as such. So till we have that, there will always be a point of contention. But we do not have to worry that non-citizens will enter the election process, because not just Aadhaar, but voter ID is also being used for elections. And in voter ID, as I mentioned earlier, that the birth certificate, which is a valid proof of citizenship, is being used. So there is no threat of non-citizens entering the election.
You can just conclude it.
So that is the reason why I support linking Aadhaar to election roll to eradicate fake voters. Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have MP number 10 to MP number 19. You can unmute yourself and speak.
Yeah, MP number 19, you just told that linking of Aadhaar card doesn't violate anything, but under body construction of Article 324 of the Indian Constitution, while the body responsible of Aadhaar card is a unique identification authority of India, which works under the control of execution arm of the government. This creates a conflict between interest of Aadhaar card linking and with the card holders, right? How can you justify that?
Okay, what kind of conflicts are being made? Can you give me 3 examples? May I know the 3 examples, please? And can I get to know what kind of data is being shared?
Yeah.
Immediately, not by searching anywhere.
Look, if a person who migrates from one place to another before the elections of the 6 months, he can get an Aadhaar card and he'll be linking with the voter ID, right?
See, linking the Aadhaar with the electoral database is up to you. Whether if you are willing to link your Aadhaar with the election database, you can link. It's not mandatory. I have been telling you since 2 minutes. You have been asking the same questions repeatedly. Linking or not linking is up to you. You can't make somebody forced to get your Aadhaar linked. It's voluntary, not mandatory.
Okay, guys, if there are no further questions, the bill will be up for voting. Okay, I think MP number 19, This will be the, okay, I think as you have already got a chance, I want MP number 7 to unmute and speak.
Yes, sister, but he didn't answer my question actually. So
Yeah, but we'll do that again as you have
he
already
didn't
got a
answer my
chance.
question. Okay.
Okay, we'll do that. MP number 7 can unmute and speak.
Yeah, MP number 10 said that the residence will be changed. But ఇప్పుడు రెసిడెన్స్ చేంజ్ అయిద్దన్నారు. ఆ రెసిడెన్స్ అనేది ఆధార్ కార్డులో మార్చుకోవచ్చు. ఇప్పుడు ఎలక్షన్ రోల్లో ఎలాగూ ఎన్రోల్ అయి ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి ఆటోమేటిక్గా చేంజ్ అయ్యింది. అప్పుడు పబ్లిక్ అనేది చాలా యూస్ఫుల్ అయ్యింది. ఇప్పుడు ఆధార్ కార్డుకి రెసిడెన్స్ చేంజ్ చేసుకొని మళ్ళీ ఎలక్షన్లో మళ్ళీ రెసిడెన్స్ చేంజ్ చేసుకోవడం అనేది పబ్లిక్ ఇబ్బంది అయింది. కాబట్టి ఎలక్షన్ చేంజ్ కావడం వల్ల పబ్లిక్ కి మంచిదే అయింది. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Yeah, MP number 10 can answer both questions so that we can wind up this round and go for voting.
So I'm taking my question back, like it's violating Aadhaar card linkage with the voter ID. So the conflicts have been solved, like it's okay to link, and it's in our hands, like voters' hands, to link the Aadhaar card or not. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So guys, I think there are no further questions. The bill will be up for voting. Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Can we go with the voting now?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Guys, the bill is up for voting. Whoever is supporting the bill can raise their hand now.
Ma'am, can you repeat once again?
Parliamentarians or MPs who are in favor of the bill can raise their hand. Yes, guys, you can lower your hands. Yeah, I see more people. You can lower your hands so that we can go for against the bill. Okay. Now I request the parliamentarians who are against the bill or who are opposing the bill to raise their hand. Okay, guys. Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So we have 17 people in favor of the bill and 5 against.
Yes. So bill stands passed.
Okay, sir. So if you want to speak something or any sort of feedback, you can talk, sir.
No, everyone has given his best, the speech as well as the rebuttal round. Now I would congratulate everyone for their outstanding performance so far. With that, you can close the session.
Yes, sir. Now I request all the participants and the honorable speaker, sir, also to switch on their camera so that we can take a screenshot. Thank you everyone for joining us today. With this, we are concluding our session now. Thank you, Vishnu, sir.
Thank you.
It was great having you here. And to all the participants, thank you for the active participation.